Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
We are in the month of December, so we can safely say that winter is upon us. And if you live in Canada or the northern United States or in Sweden, Finland, Norway, or places like that, you're probably looking forward to the winter because there will be lots of snow on the ground or the water on the ground is frozen so you can go skiing or skating. I know I look forward to skating in the winter, but of course I haven't lived there for many, many years.
Oh, do you ice skate?
I did when I was a kid, indeed. Of course, we skated a lot during the winter because it was very cold with lots of snow and skating rinks outside. It was a lot of fun, but I've lived in Taiwan for many years, so I haven't done ice skating. Well, I can't say I've never done it. I did it a couple of times at some indoor ice rinks here. There's the one in the arena in Taipei here. And there used to be one in Ximending. It was actually an ice rink. I think it was above the clothing store or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But for the most part, though, it's kind of difficult to do ice skating here in Taiwan.
I didn't know there was an ice rink over at Ximending. That's interesting. But there's an ice skating rink over on, was it Nanjing or Badalu? Dunhua.
Ice skating?
Isn't there a rink over there?
Yeah, you're talking about the Taipei Arena. There is a place there you can go skating. They have times.
Is it full all year round that they offer that?
I guess so. I went there once with my daughter, maybe about 10 years ago or so. It was a lot of fun. You know, you can rent skates there and you can try it out on the ice there. It's a lot of fun.
Ice skating is not easy. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more, guys, but we should probably go ahead and let you listen to this article. We'll read it through once, and then we'll be back and talk about skating adventures.
Skating adventures. Explore the world on blades and wheels. Skating is a popular recreational and competitive activity that involves sliding over surfaces using specially designed footwear. Its origins date back over 1,000 years to Northern Europe, where people first strapped animal bones to their feet to move across frozen lakes and rivers. In the 17th century, the Dutch transformed skating into a leisure activity. They also replaced bone blades with metal, leading to the creation of modern ice skates. Today, ice skating is enjoyed as a global sport and an exciting pastime by people of all ages. Figure skating is one of the best-known and most graceful forms of skating. It combines athletic skill with artistic expression as skaters execute complex jumps, spins, and sophisticated footwork to music. Figure skating is a staple in the Winter Olympics and other international competitions. On the other end of the spectrum lies ice hockey, a fast-paced team sport known for its physical intensity. Two teams of players use sticks to hit a puck into the opposition's goal. Another prominent ice skating sport is speed skating. In this race-based event, skaters compete against each other on oval tracks, aiming to cover the distance in the shortest time possible. Outside the ice rink, roller skating has emerged as a more accessible alternative, especially in warmer regions. It has given rise to its own variations, including inline hockey and aggressive inline skating. While the surfaces and equipment may differ, skating in all its forms remains a dynamic and versatile activity enjoyed by people worldwide.
Welcome back, guys. We're talking about skating adventures, and the subtitle of the article is Explore the World on Blades and Wheels. Nowadays, there are a couple different ways to go ice skating. When I was young, you could just go ice skating on a blade. But we're also going to be talking about different types of skating. When I think of skating, I think of ice skating primarily. But rollerblading and roller skates they're also types of skating. You can go speed skating, figure skating, roller skating, inline skating. Inline rollerblading came into existence, I think, when I was still in New York, and I remember thinking, oh, wow, that looks kind of dangerous. In Central Park, we've got a lot of inline skaters who do it for exercise, and the cars can't go on particular roads. And they'll be going at great speeds. It's scary.
Yeah, you got to watch out for them, especially for skaters because they can't really stop very easily. But we're talking about different kinds of skating. We're also talking about the history of skating. Of course, there are different kinds of skates, which we'll get to as our lesson continues. But again, today we are exploring the world on blades and wheels. Okay, so if you're doing ice skating, you're going to be on a blade. That is a piece of metal that has a sharp edge. You can see blades in knives, for example. A knife has a blade, or a sword has a blade. And then at the bottom of your skate, you have a blade as well. It's made out of metal.
And if the blade is on a knife, you have to sharpen it every once in a while because it becomes dull. But those blades on skates, they're quite sharp. I have a story later to tell about my brother and an accident we had while we were ice skating, and it involved a blade cutting into my leg. So, you got to be careful. They are certainly adventures. You can have a lot of fun, but it's a little risky sometimes. So you can either go on blades, shoes that have blades, or shoes that have wheels. And those are the roller blades we'll be talking about. So skating's a popular recreational and competitive activity. It's recreational where people just go out and skate for fun or exercise. It's a really popular exercise, at least in New York City and Manhattan. But it's also a very competitive activity. And if you're into Olympic sports, you probably have watched figure skating and speed skating. The speed skating looks really scary to me. They go so fast. But those blades are really important for both of those. And it involves sliding or gliding over surfaces using specially designed footwear. Footwear is just a word we use to talk about things that are worn on the feet. Shoes, boots, skates, things like that.
Right, and of course that involves skates. In this particular case, it's different kinds of footwear. I began skating by using figure skates because the blades are shorter and you can turn more easily, and it's got that little kind of
hook. Kind of a curved,
something on the front.
It curves.
Sort of. It gives you a chance to start off running or something like that. And I later, wore hockey skates because the blade is longer and you can go a little faster that way. It's harder to turn though.
Very.
But and then of course there's speed skates, which we'll get to later on. But these are all different kinds of footwear, and its origins, skating, the origins of skating. The origins date back over 1,000 years to Northern Europe, where people first strapped animal bones to their feet to move across frozen lakes and rivers. So we've got people who have researched this, and they found out that, I guess, skating began over 1,000 years ago in Northern Europe. Okay, so that would be Denmark and Sweden and places like that.
Yeah.
And in those places, people strapped animal bones to their feet to move across frozen lakes. So they attached these bones to the bottom of their feet using ropes or something like that, and I guess that helped them move across the ice. Maybe they did that for a practical reason, or maybe it was just for fun. I'm not quite sure, but that's kind of the earliest skate. It does seem kind of crude here.
It sounds painful. I mean, you think about the bones, you kind of need a flat bone. Otherwise, it's very uncomfortable to skate like that. But that's all they had back then, guys. They didn't have the metal and the plastics that we do today. So if you strap something on, to strap just means to fasten or secure something with a strap or a belt maybe, or tie. You could fasten something on, you could tie it on, you could buckle it. So he strapped on his inline skates before joining the game as an example of that. So they would actually strap animal bones to their feet, and that's the way they would move across frozen lakes and rivers. Back then, I can't imagine they were doing it for fun, Tom. Most of the time back then, they were just trying to survive, trying to find food, and to live in that really cold environment back then. So back in the 17th century, that's the 1600s, that's when the Dutch transformed skating into a leisure activity. The Dutch, of course, are what we call the people of the Netherlands, and they're often linked with the tradition of ice skating. They're the people of Holland, Netherlands, citizens, Dutchmen, Dutchwomen, but we call them the Dutch.
They love their skating, and they always do well at the Olympics. Along with the South Koreans, they're very good at speed skating events. So yeah, they transformed it into a leisure activity. To transform something into something just means you change it from one thing to another. So before it was practical, and now it's a leisure activity. People do it mainly for fun. They also replaced bone blades with metal, leading to the creation of modern ice skates. So that was a great innovation there by using metal blades on the bottom of their boots instead of bones. And of course, bones would probably slide all over the ice.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have any control. But if you have a blade going across the ice, you can pretty much go straight with it. Sometimes the blade slides from side to side, but for the most part, you have control. You do need to sharpen those blades every once in a while. So yeah, that led to the creation of modern ice skates.
Today, ice skating is enjoyed as a global sport. People do it all over the world, and it's an exciting pastime by people of all ages. Yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are, even elderly people. I saw a lady who was in her 80s ice dancing, which was very interesting the other day. It was fun to see. Pastime is just a noun that means an activity that people enjoy doing when they have free time. So it could be a hobby, some sort of amusing activity that they do when they have free time, or downtime. You could say downtime. So it's fun. And you can find it in places now that don't have any ice naturally. You know, we don't have a lot of natural frozen lakes in Taiwan, do we? But people have adapted to that. They've built their own man-made ice rinks. And we've got some pretty good competitive athletes here on the ice.
Indeed. And of course, there are places to do ice skating in Taiwan. I'm pretty sure there's one. Well, I know there's one in the Taipei Arena, but I suspect there's also probably facilities down in Taichung and Kaohsiung. And figure skating is one of the best known and most graceful forms of skating. So that's one type of skating, figure skating, and you wear figure skates for that. Again, as I said, the blades are shorter. Usually the black skates are for men and the white ones are for women. And they go out on the ice and they spin around and they do, what are those, double axles and stuff like that. It can be quite fun to watch. And of course, it's very popular during the Olympics because it's so graceful. If something's graceful, oh, it's just wonderful. It's really nice to watch. It is very high class. And yes, indeed, it's really great to watch those, especially those women going out there in their skirts and spinning around and being so graceful. It's just so beautiful.
They're up to quadruple axles nowadays, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as time has gone on, the women especially have become more and more athletic. It's amazing to watch. It's my favorite competitive Olympic sport is figure skating. I think it's a favorite of a lot of people out there. It's fun because it feels like you're watching dancers, you know, but at the same time, they're doing very difficult athletic forms of sport right there. So it combines athletic skill with artistic expression. Yeah, you have to be very coordinated and tough and have been blessed with a really athletic body to even do figure skating, which is, I mean, I think some people look at it and they think it's more like dancing. It's got to be easier. It's hard. And when they're figure skating couples, that woman is being thrown into the air by her partner, who then, you know, is also has a responsibility of not letting her fall and, you know, crash to the ice. But I know a lot of those figure skaters have gotten pretty serious injuries because when you fall, you're not falling on soft stuff. You're falling on hard ice. So yeah, they combine athletic skill and artistic expression. All of those skaters take a lot of dance classes on the floor, you know, to try to improve their gracefulness and their dance moves. But they execute or carry out complex jumps, spins, and really sophisticated footwork to music. We know what footwear is. Footwork just means the way someone moves their feet especially when you're talking about sports or dancing. It's just their technique with their feet.
And figure skating is a staple in the Winter Olympics and other international competitions. So if something's a staple, of course, it happens regularly in a certain kind of situation. Like track and field events are a staple in the Olympics. You can't have the Olympics without track and field events. And yes, indeed.
Or we could say rice is a staple here in Taiwan, is one of our more important foods that we eat.
So that's figure skating, and we'll talk about hockey in just a second. But right now we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。今天来到我们运动单元，要带大家看一个滑冰运动 skating。 好，这个滑冰运动啊，对我们来说可能真的要滑冰就要到小巨蛋那边的溜冰场里面去滑了，对不对？因为呢我们亚洲是很热的，所以通常我们都是滑个直排轮。我们等一下也会看到直排轮哦。但是今天的文章也是设计成综合测验的这个克漏字，所以我们赶快看一下。通常文章提到某一个主题的时候，在第一段就会下个定义啦，然后谈谈起源啦。今天这个文章也不例外，所以在第一句当中直接就下一个定义，到底滑冰 skating 它是一个什么样的 activity， 什么样的活动呢？原来它是一个休闲，但是却有竞技这方面的特性。然后重点是啊，大家都是穿着鞋具啊，在地面上滑行。好，我们来到第一句哦，它是一个限定用法的关系子句。先行词从 be 动词后面的 a popular 一直到 activity 这个地方，后面的 that 到句尾则补充说明限定是哪一种很受欢迎又休闲又竞技的活动。但是来到第二句，刚好是一个非限定用法的关系子句。好，我们先看第二句。第二句非限定用法，所以一定是找逗点之后。这个逗点之后从 where 一直到句尾的地方是补充说明逗点之前这个所谓的 Northern Europe， 当时啊北欧地方在那里1000年前的时候状况如何。所以原来啊第二句其实告诉我们的是起源，追溯回1000多年前的北欧，那个时候是把动物的骨头绑在脚上。这是非限定用法补充说明的关系子句。为什么有时候限定有时候不要限定呢？你可以看看第一句的先行词哦，一种很受欢迎的休闲但是却有竞技的活动，哪一种啊？总要告诉我们是哪一种啊？原来是要特别穿着鞋子在地面上滑行的那一种，也就是 skating。而如果是第二句非限定用法补充说明，通常这个先行词，例如在这句当中的 Northern Europe， 它就是北欧啊，北欧全世界就只有北欧这个地方，所以我不需要去限定是哪里的北欧，它本来在地表上就是那个北欧，所以打个逗点，我们慢慢的补充说明 where 在那里，大家1000多年前啊如何如何。好，那么接着我们同样在第一段哦，也是看第四句的地方，这里也有非限定用法的关系子句，可是它简化了，所以我们一样看到第四句逗点之后的 leading 先还原，还原之后呢改成原来的句子是 which led， 因为它整个是过去式哦，我们从句子的第3个单字 replaced， 这个动词就可以判断它整个是一个过去式。好，那这里的 which 呢就不是指单纯的先行词的 metal， 这里的 which 呢它指的就是逗点前面的这一整句话，也就是说呢把骨头改成金属这样子的一个情况，就导致了现代的一种滑冰。好，那接着呢我们当然来到第二段，就会看到滑冰有哪一些种类啊。第一种就是花式滑冰，花式滑冰就非常优雅咯，有很多的旋转啊，精致的步伐。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. It's our sports unit, and we're focusing on different types of skating. We've got ice skating, inline skating. We've got hockey, which is done on the ice. We've got rollerblading or just roller skating. When I was in, I think, junior high, it was kind of the cool thing to go as a junior high and have these dances at the roller skating rink, and people would hold hands and skate around the rink. It was so fun. They would play, popular music and, you got to be pretty good at it. I was a better ice skater than I was a roller skater, which was interesting, but I really enjoyed it. But this is what we're talking about today, is skating.
And we just got done talking about figure skating, which of course is a staple in the Winter Olympics. It's quite graceful when you see a woman out there or a pair out there skating together. And on the other end of the spectrum, or the range, we've got ice hockey, a fast-paced team sport known for its physical intensity. So yeah, it's on the other end of the spectrum because it's quite different from figure skating. Hockey is more kind of brutal. They bash into each other all the time. They change lines all the time. They're chasing after a puck. It's quite physically demanding. And it is the national sport of Canada, and they play it in Finland as well, and Sweden and Germany and places like that. I was actually fortunate to go see an ice hockey game in Canada last year during the winter. That was a lot of fun. It's quite exciting to watch. And I also think there's some Canadian expatriates here in Taiwan.
Oh, really?
Who've organized a league or something. They play hockey in the arena. I don't know if they do that anymore. I heard about that before. But they get together and play ice hockey, so you can probably have a chance to go check a game out. And yes, indeed, it's known for its physical intensity. Intensity just means something is very strong or intense. It has a lot of energy going on. And indeed, it is a lot of fun to watch. I think it's actually my favorite team sport. When you see ice hockey, basketball and baseball just look horribly boring by comparison.
Well, I like baseball the best, but one of the things I liked about hockey was that I could go into the arena and just feel so cool. Because I grew up in the desert in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's hot. So when we got a hockey team, I was like, oh, this is great. I have to tell you, though, Tom, I could not keep track of where the puck was.
It's small.
Yeah, the puck is that flat, round object that they use in ice hockey instead of a ball. They hit the puck around. Man, they'd hit that puck, and I could not keep track of it. I would be looking around. I had no idea where it was. So, but I did love sitting in the cool arena. I know that sounds crazy, but I loved it.
Yeah, some people do complain about that. Again, in hockey, two teams of players use sticks to hit a puck into the opposition's goal. So that object you just described, a flat black piece of rubber, is the puck. And it's very small, so it is kind of hard to see. I don't have any trouble seeing it because I kind of know what they're looking at all the time.
Yeah,
so
but they hit so hard. Those guys are so strong.
Yeah, you get used to it. You can follow it eventually. But again, it's just like soccer. You try to hit the puck into the opposition's goal. The opposition, of course, is the team you're playing against. And the more goals you get, the more likely you're going to win. And, of course, I think it's more scoring. They score more in hockey than they do in soccer. So if you're sick of watching soccer and waiting for a goal over 45 minutes or something, hockey will be much more satisfying in that regard. And another prominent ice skating sport is speed skating. And this is one I kind of enjoy. It's where they have those special skates that have really long blades.
Yeah.
And they have these big ovals that are really big. And they skate around that thing going really fast. As I said earlier, the Dutch are very good at that. And also the South Koreans are really good at speed skating.
Yeah, the South Koreans are good at that. It's amazing. Now look at their thigh muscles. They're huge. So you can see what muscles they're using primarily. And when they go around that rink, they almost hit the ice. They lean over so far. It's kind of fun to see. We had a really good speed skater a couple of Olympics ago that I used to follow. He was an American. But yeah, that was when I first started watching it. I was like, oh, wow, this is a crazy sport. So they aimed, or their goal is, to cover the distance in the shortest time possible. Yeah, it's a fast-moving, fast-paced sport that is over before you know it. But it can be, again, very risky, very dangerous. It's adventurous, that's for sure. So outside the ice rink, we've got roller skating that's emerged. It's a more accessible alternative. Yeah, if you don't have an ice rink available, roller skating you just need a pair of skates and kind of a nice sidewalk. My sidewalk in my neighborhood was pretty good. People took care of the sidewalk so I could roller skate down the sidewalk. But a lot of people don't have a good sidewalk. Maybe you've got a sidewalk with a lot of cracks, or grass growing through the cracks. The grass are a mess. You don't want grass on your sidewalk if you're trying to roller skate. Or maybe you have a nice road that's been shut off to cars like we did in Central Park in New York City. That was a great place to go roller skating, except the people who are rollerblading would just zoom past you so fast.
You gotta watch out. I'm sure there have been many accidents. I did want to say that when I was a kid, roller skating referred to skating on skates that had 4 wheels, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. But later someone invented inline skates, and they're called rollerblades. So roller skating is a general term for everything. And if you want to talk about the old skates that have 2 wheels in the front and 2 in the back, you call those quad skates because they have 4 wheels.
See, I haven't heard that. I just call them roller skates, and I call the one with the blade rollerblading.
Yeah, that's a new term.
Okay.
And I think there's a roller skating rink in the Taipei Arena, if I'm not mistaken, so you could check that out. I think there's one in Taichung as well. It's become quite popular. That's probably why we're talking about skating, because that has become so popular recently. And yes, indeed, roller skating has come out as a more accessible alternative. You can do it in any climate, especially in warmer regions like Taiwan. You could even do it outdoors.
Yeah.
My goodness, they have skating rinks all over the place.
And it says here it's given rise to its own variations. Yeah, to give rise to is just these other variations have come from that thing. They've arisen from that, including inline hockey and aggressive inline skating. So those are 2 new sports. Inline hockey is similar to ice hockey, but it's played on rollerblades. And aggressive inline skating is a type of skating where they include tricks and jumps and stunts, stuff like that. So it is pretty aggressive, and you have to be a daredevil, I would say, to engage in it. While the surfaces and equipment may differ, they are different. They differ. Skating in all its forms remains a dynamic and versatile activity enjoyed by people worldwide. As something's dynamic, it's full of energy, it's lively, it's active, it's fun. Maybe you have someone in your life who is very dynamic. My dad was very dynamic. He was always on the go. My mom was quiet and soft-spoken. My dad was dynamic. And versatile means something that's able to be used in a lot of different ways, or someone who's able to do a lot of different things. You could say they're versatile, they're flexible, they're multi-talented. Maybe they're even jack of all trades or Jill of all trades.
Indeed. And of course, you have lots of options if you want to try skating. And Taiwan is a skater's paradise, I should say. Usually the Taiwan speed skating team, the inline speed skating team, does quite well in international competitions.
Yay.
And if you head to those skating ovals in various parts of Taiwan, you can see lots of young people doing speed skating as well. So it is quite popular here. So check it out. I'm sure you could find some skates somewhere that will fit you, and you'll have the time of your life. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
但是我们刚刚讲完了这个花式滑冰啊，就看到一个截然相反的是冰上曲棍球。我们第2段来到第4句。第4句当中啊，我们特别先注意第一个，它的句型是一个地方副词放句首的倒装，因为没有任何句子开头居然可以是 on 这个介系词的，所以其实这个句子啊，它说单纯一点，第4句我们从逗点前面来看，在第3格，也就是第3题的地方，我们前后先打上斜线，我们会发现其实句子真的在讲的是 hockey ice hockey， 好，这个是主词。那来到了第3题，它考你的就是一个动词。首先呢，我们先看一下它的时态。这个时态既然已经来到了现代，我们有一种特别的一种冰上曲棍球这种种类，那它就是一个现在式。那接着呢，我们就要复习一下 lie 这个字啊，除了躺的意思之外，它其实指的是某处或者是某地有什么什么东西。好，所以其实这个句子真正要讲的是 ice hockey lies on the other end of the spectrum， 在这个范围的另外一边，也就是花式滑冰的另外一个则是 ice hockey， 它是一个地方副词放句首的倒装。那么逗点之后的 a fast-paced team sport 则是补充说明 ice hockey 的状况，当然它带了一个简化的关系子句，从 known 一直到句尾的地方。好，所以这个是第3题，也就是我们今天特别要注意动词的变化。 当然我们在这里可能要复习一下 lie lie 这个字，它的过去式是 lay L-A-Y， 过去分词是 lain L-A-I-N， 现在分词是 lying L-Y-I-N-G。 好，那么接着我们看到了第一种花式滑冰跟第二种冰上曲棍球之后，再来就是竞速滑冰咯。竞速滑冰就出现在接下来第6句这个地方。竞速滑冰则是非常的具有竞争性，因为要尽量的比速度，而且在最短的时间之内完成距离。所以我们在后面的第7句的地方啊，看到也有一个 and 省略的分词构句。第7句第一个动词是 compete， 而第二个动词本来应该在逗点之后的 and aim to do something。and 连接词省略，动词的主要的目标为了做一件事的 aim 直接加上动词 ing。 好，那么接下来来到第3段，当然在我们刚刚一开始说这个亚洲这个比较没有冰的地方，我们就会溜个直排轮啊滑轮啊，尤其是在我们这个亚洲温暖的地方。不过虽然场地跟装备不同，但是滑冰还是一个大家非常喜欢的运动。在最后面第3段的第3句第一个单字的 while 可以特别圈出来， while 当句首除了时间的意思之外，还可以当成 although 虽然，表示让步。以上我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's it for today. Thanks for joining us. Have fun skating if you choose to do so. And also have fun checking out our extra content on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Please join us again next time for another edition of our program. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
And I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.